$10,000 up to $20,000 for SSI, Supplemental Security Income, with this new bill. I have all the details and what you need to know right here in the video, so let's get right into it. Alright, lawmakers in Congress are now playing around with yet again another new bill specifically focused on SSI, Supplemental Security Income, and that's exactly what I want to focus on right here in the video, because this would directly impact about 8 million beneficiaries who rely on these monthly benefits every single month. And also, we're talking about $10,000 up to $20,000. So it's kind of a big deal. Let's get into it and talk about all the details. However, really fast before we do, thank you so much for joining me. If you're new here or if you haven't done so yet, please make sure to subscribe by hitting the button right down below the video, as it's totally free to do so. And because I am your one and only daily advocate, I'm here for you right by your side each and every day, watching all this new information hitting the wire, doing the necessary research, and breaking it all down into these short videos so you can stay updated with what's actually going on, and most importantly, how it's going to impact you, your money, your benefits, your lifestyle, your bank account, and of course, just stay in tune with all of these changes as things are happening so incredibly fast right now. So again, thanks so much for joining me. Please subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet so you don't miss any videos going forward. And also remember, I'm here for you in any way that I can be. That's my dedication, that's my commitment, and as always, that is my promise to you and everybody right here in the community. Alright, thanks again. Let's get into it and talk about the new bill Congress is playing around with that could translate into $10,000 up to $20,000 for some fixed income beneficiaries receiving SSI. Alright, so as we've heard here over the last couple of years, there's a lot of different pieces of legislation out there in Congress right now to reform Social Security, to change Social Security benefits, to reform SSI, to raise SSI benefits, all kinds of different things. We've been hearing tons of pieces of legislation, and honestly, Congress has not been doing a very good job about passing any of them, right? We've been hearing about all these bills and packages, proposals, amendments, all kinds of different things, but realistically, they have not done a very good job. However, they're now playing around with, and there's been some new updates on this new bill here, and again, exactly what I want to share with you, because there's about 8 million people that rely on SSI benefits every single month, and again, we know that these benefits need to be raised, they need to be increased, and SSI, honestly, it needs to be reformed in a very big way. Now, here's a quick little side note. SSI was formed way back in the early 70s. The whole purpose of the SSI program was as an anti-poverty program. That was the whole purpose behind SSI way back in the day, about 50 years ago when SSI was first formed. However, over the last 50 or so years since SSI was actually brought into place, unfortunately, this program went from an anti-poverty program now to essentially a poverty program. And the reason I say that is because these benefits are significantly below the federal poverty line. We know that they need to be increased in a very substantial way, and there are provisions within this piece of legislation and within this program that actually force people to essentially live in poverty, because you know if you're an SSI beneficiary, your benefits are well below the federal poverty line. They need to be increased. Not to mention, if you get any income of any kind, and again, if you get any financial assistance, essentially you need to report it, and again, they pretty much reduce your benefits as a result of that. For example, let me give you a quick example, and again, if you're an SSI beneficiary, you probably already know this, but something as simple as a bag of groceries. For example, let's just say that I gave you a bag of groceries. Technically, you're supposed to report that. How ridiculous is that? I mean, let's just be real for a second. That is nuts. To report a bag of groceries that somebody gives you out of goodwill just to try to help out, you're supposed to report? You got to be kidding me right now, right? Yeah, that's the kind of the magnitude behind this program and kind of how closely things are monitored. Now, again, I'm not saying that anything should be hidden from them. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just simply telling you this is what's going on. So if somebody wants to help you out a little bit and they give you some groceries, you're supposed to tell them about it, and then they're supposed to appropriately reduce your benefit. Yeah, right. You know what I mean? So you got to be kidding me right now. So anyway, my point is that this program is way, way out of date. Well, some lawmakers are now coming forward and they do want to implement some new changes here. So stick with me on this, because here's the thing. I completely recognize it just as much as you do. Unfortunately, I don't think Congress understands this as much as we do, but some things need to be changed about this, including raising benefits as well as removing the marriage penalty. Just those couple things alone would change benefits in a substantial way for millions of beneficiaries. However, they're now introducing this new bill called the Savings Penalty Elimination Act. Okay, so what does this all mean? And the details about all of this, because we've heard about this a little bit over the last couple months here. And again, they're actually talking about this as something they actually want to move forward with. And this is a new bill that they are introducing. So the Savings Penalty Elimination Act simply means that if you're somebody who has been lucky enough to save any money as an SSI beneficiary, they want to raise those limits. Because here's the thing. As an individual receiving SSI right now, you can have $2,000 basically in cash or cash equivalents. Now, as a married couple, you can have $3,000, again, in cash or cash equivalents. Basically, anything that could be converted into cash, they basically put into this asset column, right? So basically, let's just say this much. Is $2,000 going to get you a whole lot these days? Not really. It's not going to do a whole lot in the event of a kind of a tough situation that comes along, like what we've been seeing here over the last several years. $2,000 is not going to get somebody a whole lot of anything. $3,000 for a married couple, again, not going to get you a whole lot these days. So what they want to do with this new bill, the Savings Penalty Elimination Act, is basically what they want to do is increase the asset levels from $2,000 as an individual up to $10,000 as an individual. Now, also, for a married couple, they want to increase the asset levels from $3,000 as a married couple up to $20,000 as a married couple. Now, here's the thing. Great gestures, great work. I think this is nice what Congress is trying to do here. But at the end of the day, does this really solve the problem? The answer is not even close, because here's why. As an SSI beneficiary, receiving, say, $914 in 2023 or $841 in 2022 or $794 in 2021, do these amounts really allow you to save any money? Maybe if you're super lucky, maybe a couple dollars a month, but that's about it. If you're super lucky, right? For the vast majority of SSI beneficiaries, you're probably spending all that money and maybe even plus some every single month just to cover the basic necessities. So it's nothing to really save. However, what they want to do with this bill is increase the asset levels so that your cash equivalents or your cash, whatever you may have saved, could be a little bit more substantial. And again, I totally agree. Something more along the lines of $5,000, $7,000, $10,000 as an individual would be a lot better. That helps somebody out in a substantial way. $20,000 for a married couple, again, that'd be a substantial windfall in the event of a type of situation like what we've been going through here over the last couple of years. However, my main question is, where are SSI beneficiaries going to get this money? You know what I mean? Because here's the thing. Like I said, unless you're very, very lucky, you're probably spending all of your SSI check every single month. You might be saving a couple dollars, but it's going to take a substantial amount of time to save up $5,000, $7,000, $10,000 as an individual, or maybe $10,000, $15,000, $17,000, or even $20,000 as a married couple. So my point is, I don't really know where this money is going to come from. Even though the asset levels could be possibly increased, that'd be nice. But at the end of the day, where are these fixed income beneficiaries actually going to get the money to set it aside for that rainy day or the type of situation like what we've been dealing with here over the last couple of years with rapidly rising inflation, prices going through the roof on everything? Sure would have been nice here, but it's a little bit too late at this point. So anyway, nice gesture here, but at the end of the day, if Congress is going to do something, I think all of us can probably agree, something more important would probably be to raise benefits up to the federal poverty line, which is something that they also have introduced in a separate bill, as well as removing the marriage penalty, again, something else that they've talked about in separate bills. But these two alone would probably be, again, in my honest opinion, probably a little bit more important right now versus raising the asset levels for beneficiaries. Now, don't get me wrong, raising the asset levels would be important, but at the end of the day, we kind of first need to get money into the pockets of the fixed income and SSI beneficiaries to make sure that they're covering all the basic necessities and making sure that everybody has enough that they need every single month to cover everything that is needed, like food and shelter and utilities and whatever else everybody needs on an ongoing basis. And that's a lot of stuff. And I can tell you this much, it probably costs well more than $914 like in 2023 for all of the basic necessities on a monthly basis. So this is just what they're talking about. And again, I like that Congress is actually doing something. I like that Congress is introducing these new bills. I like that they're having these discussions. But at the end of the day, it's not really solving the problem, which is more money in the bank accounts of people. Now, again, I get it. By raising the asset levels would actually account for more money, potentially. but it's the potential. That's the problem. We need the guaranteed. We need something more along the lines of something that's actually coming rather than just, well, I essentially have up to $10,000 as an individual to save, but guess what? Where's the money coming from and where is it, right? So anyway, a new bill, Congress is playing around with it, another one that they're considering right now. But like I said, if anybody from Congress happens to be watching this video, in our honest opinion, as fixed income beneficiaries, and overseeing the SSI program, something as simple as raising benefits up to the federal poverty line, or at least getting them close to it, would be way, way, way more beneficial than raising the asset levels. And even just removing the marriage penalty alone, I know would impact a lot of people. The reason I know that is because I've had a personal conversation with some of you right here in the community that know that the marriage penalty alone is impacting you and your personal situation, because either you can't get married or you feel like you can't because it's going to reduce your benefits substantially, and or you're maybe holding off marriage, or maybe you did get married and you're saying, wow, yeah, that was nice, we got married now and we're being penalized as a result of it. Should that be happening? I don't know. Seems super messed up to me, but these are the rules that they have in place. So anyway, I'm here for you in any way that I can be. I want to bring you this new information because we're talking about these new bills and things like that. But at the end of the day, I want to say this much. When it comes down to it, if we can look at all this, just the fact that Congress is actually talking about and considering anything along the lines of reforming Social Security and or SSI, I feel like that's somewhat of a win because, they got to start somewhere, and at least this might be a starting point. Anyway, I just want to bring you this information. Please subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet. Share the video with your friends, family, social media, especially if you know somebody who is low income or an SSI beneficiary. And also go back and check out some of the other thousands and thousands of videos here on the channel. Until next time, enjoy your day. Hope you're doing well. Have a good one, and I'll catch you again later in the next